Their first album, as Kyle may remember, September 27th, 2005, was A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. I was voluntold to go first on this round, so I figured why not? There we go. No, but needless to say, this is whenever a band first jumps on the scene or an artist first jumps on the scene, typically they're influenced by their most what affects them the most at the time, whether it be something like you hear evolutions of some bands over time where they maintain a similar sound or similar style, but as we go through, I just want to echo this completely, but basically saying they started on this record, they started out so emo, so pop punk. Even as someone who didn't really listen to their album like fully until we decided to do this and to land on My Choice, I was listening to a lot of their stuff. I'm like, my God, this is crazy. How they went from this to this, and the evolution of this band. It's like picking your favorite child or picking your favorite era of music, and you could probably listen to a Panic at the Disco album at the same time. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, this is just this album. But with A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, I really, man, it's not something I expected, but it's definitely something unique on its own. For a second, I'm just scrolling down to the track listing for those of you who would like to tune into us. This today's standard in 2025, the album is 20 years old. I would say that this is now considered a pop punk classic by today's standards, because this was around the same time when American Idiot came out, into Green Day's American Idiot. Even we did Sum 41 a while ago. Sum 41's Underclass Hero was kind of around the same time, if not mistaken, or that was 2006. Yeah, this was 2006-7. Yeah, so this kind of fit into the mold of the time. I say, oh my God, that's a new band. It's called Panic at the Disco, and sure enough, they really. When initially, without even listening to it, and I just looked at the titles, I'm like, is this a Fall Out Boy, Take This to Your Grave ripoff? Like, when I first, because I never heard the album until we did. I never, outside of I've read Sins Not Tragedies, I never heard the full album until we decided to do this. Going back and listening to it though, and I'm like, what in the hell? Like, it's really, really solid pop punk for early 2000s, mid 2000s. Does it hold up? I think it does. I think a lot of these songs, especially, I take I Write Sins Not Tragedies out of it being the hit that it was. I think that this album just definitely has a lot of really solid tracks on it. I mean, including I Write Sins Not Tragedies, but I think it's better. But it's better if you do. Time to Dance, man. I forgot how hard that goes. That one goes so hard on this album, man. But then, looking at some of the titles, like there's a good reason these tables are numbered, honey. You just haven't thought of it yet. Like, or the only difference between Martyrdom and Suicide is press coverage. Like, the longest titles always got to me for whatever reason. And it's like, try and say, but the song has nothing to do with the title. It's just the title of the song. It's kind of weird. Yeah, no, but this is what I would consider to be a pop punk classic. I mean, I don't know what Kyle has to say about this, but I think it's a solid start to a career that for a band that seemed promising at the time. I mean, Kyle, what do you think about If You Can't Sweat Out?
Yeah, at the time I really loved this album. I Write Sins Not Tragedies was mine, as well as I would say almost everyone that got into them back in the day, first experience with the band, and loved that song back then. But I gotta be honest, if I never heard I Write Sins Not Tragedies again, I would be totally fine. I find myself turning this song off every time it's on now. It's a great song, but it has been played to death, and it didn't stop. Sometimes there are songs, and I always use this analogy because it's a perfect example for me. There are certain songs that will get played to death for a certain amount of time, and you can't listen to them for a while, but then people forget about it and stop playing it. For example, Green Day's 21 Guns. When that song came out, it was all over the radio. I couldn't listen to it for years. Since then, it stopped being played. On the flip side, you have those songs like Green Day's Boulevard of Broken Dreams or I Write Sins Not Tragedies that have never gone away from the mainstream consciousness. So whether it's the radio still, or just like even nowadays, like TikTok and Instagram Reels, I come across it, or you go to any emo night, it's constantly there.
Yep.
It's annoying at this point. But anyway, on to the rest of the songs. This is a very front-loaded album for me. I think the introduction is pointless, can be honest. But I mean, the only difference between I'm not going to go into all that. Great song. Again, the full first half all the way to intermission is awesome. After that, I think it does lose some steam. You know, not counting I Write Sins, Not Tragedies, if it wasn't so played out. Now, at the time, I said it was absolutely great. Does it hold up? I think it depends on how we're talking here. When listening to this, it absolutely sounds like it was from the mid 2000s. 100%, no way around it. It sounds dated. It doesn't sound like something that was made today, which depends how you look at it. I'm fine with that. I think it's good. I do think that nostalgia does a lot of heavy lifting on how much I still enjoy this record. I won't hide that. But I think it's very enjoyable. It's definitely unique in, you know, the sound that it's going for, with like the like baroque, you know, burlesque, pop punk, circusy theme going on throughout. It's definitely unique. Can't take that away from it. But you know, it's an interesting start to their career, and it's still a great album to me.
Mike, you're the pop punk guy. I mean, sorry, you're the semi pop punk guy. No, what do you, any redeeming quality for the debut album? What do you got?
Well, the only redeeming quality of this album is that it's a rock album. As time went by, obviously rock became, you know, just kind of wore out its welcome in the Panic Disco kind of universe. So, and I think, you know, you'll notice that with a lot of their music later on. Obviously, it's got moments of rock sprinkled in, but like, you know, that's really the only redeeming quality for the album, in my opinion. There's I noticed in an article it said Brandon Urie suffers from ADHD. This album feels like an ADHD kind of like marathon of just like, it's just all over the place. It's just, hey, random techno thing. Like random falsettos and like changes in direction, and it's just so jarring, so tough to get through, because it feels like somebody who just can't slow down and like stop for a second. It's just cramming everything into you and bashing it up against you and saying like, pay attention to this. It's like unique, and it's got lots of different little twists and quirks and weird things going on, but in the end it just does too much too fast, and then just not enough substance behind it. So it really, as I kind of rediscovered this album, I never listened to it first, but I rediscovered like the album that the, you know, I Write Sins Not Tragedies came from, which, I mean, everyone knows that song. It kind of became evident that an entire album of that was just too much for me to handle, versus like just having one song and being done. Yeah, it definitely was not an enjoyable experience, let's call it that. So yeah.
And really quick before we guess each other's where it ranks on our list, Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong. Brendan Urie has gone on record and said he does not like I Write Sins Not Tragedies, correct?
I mean, he doesn't like playing it. He only sings like half the song live and then lets the crowd sing the rest of it. But I mean,
I remember that. Yeah.
You know, I'm sure it's just one of those things where you're expected to play it every time you perform. You start to get sick of it. And like I said, not even that. You're hearing it on the radio all the time. So I wouldn't blame the guy.
Yeah, because I remember, I mean, I saw them once in 2018, and I remember like the first half of the song, if not most of the song, the crowd was singing the whole thing. It was kind of like great. And I remember, unfortunately, I was the guy there who, it may seem like a hot take for some people. I'm actually, because it's been overplayed so much, and also for whatever reason, like this, you know how like when a song starts, it normally kicks something into your brain. For whatever reason, this one just did not do it for me. Like I respect its greatness. I understand it's a big hit. I understand it's 20 years old and it's still like a massive part of a lot of people's childhood. But for whatever reason, like this outside, like this is not, maybe because it wasn't the song of the album that got me into them, if that makes sense. Like I could not get into like this one song that I remember people around me being like, why do you like Death of Asher? Why don't you like A Fever You Can't Sweat Out? I'm like, well, I never heard of A Fever You Can't Sweat Out until Death of Asher came out. So they kind of like had their moment that way. But I don't know. We'll get to that in a little bit. But anyways, I'm going to guess that Kyle has this at number 2. And I'm going to guess that Mike has it at number 4. I wonder if I'm right.
All right.
Kyle?
Well, I think I won't give it away yet, but I think that JT has it sitting at 3, and I think Mike has it at 6.
Dang, dude! I said
Okay.
JT. I said JT had it at 3, and you had it at 3 as well, Kyle. That was my
wow.
that was my guess. Yeah, I actually guessed both of you at 3. So
Wow.
all right.
Okay.
Well,
JT, you want to reveal first?
Well, dare I say it, as great as this album is, this might seem like a crime for some people to say this. I actually have it at number 5. Believe it or not, I had this at number 5. It's lower than I expected too, but I had to put it at number 5. Kyle, where is it on your list?
This was at number 2 for me. Like I said earlier, nostalgia probably does a lot of heavy lifting on here. I mean, this is an album that's been a part of my life for 20 years now. So,
Good point.
You know, and there's something that we're going to notice this, and I'm going to discuss it almost as each album goes on. But I came to realize after listening back to all their records that it's very rare that Panic! At the Disco has an album to me that is consistent throughout. And I'll preface everything else by saying that. So yeah, number 2 for me.
I agree. And Mike, where is it on your list?
You nailed it. Yeah, 4. That's exactly where I had it, and I'm like,
wow, look at you guys go.
Funny that you said that.
Wait, so JT guessed both correct?
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
Bro is.
I'm keeping track of the prediction counter here.
Please do, because at the very end we're gonna have our we're gonna end the sharing of screen of me, and then Kyle's gonna share what our rankings were, guessed, and our actual rankings too. But yeah, this is wow. I guess most of those right. I'm doing pretty good. This is pretty good. I'm feeling good about myself about something for once.